Hey y'all, it's Emma and Jack, the mutt goats, doing what the mutt goats do. This time of year there ain't a whole lot of leaves on the bushes and plants and all that junk in the pen. The big pen. Oh, what's that? Ah. So the mutt goats get hay this time of year, and they dig it the most. Goats dig hay the most. Hello, good people. It's just another goof off Saturday for me. I had some stuff to do wandering around the town of Dade City, Florida on foot. There was some big events happening over there, down that way from me. So we're wandering around downtown Dade City, and there's a bookstore there, and I've been there quite a few times. In fact, a couple of years ago, I decided to clean out my attic and realized I had a lot more books up in the attic than I remembered having. And as I'm opening these boxes of books, I'm saying, why the heck do I have all these James Patterson hardcovers and other books that I really don't need for my collection? And I said, well, next time I get to this bookstore in Dade City, I'm going to drop them off and see what they want for them, or what they'll do for them. And I couldn't believe it, but they actually gave me money. They gave me credit. They gave me a bunch of credit, big stacks and packs of credit for books that I would have given away because I didn't have any use for them. I just needed to move on down the road, hopefully to somebody that would care. Nothing against James Patterson. I've read some good books from the James Patterson man, but I don't need piles of books on my shelves to show off my James Patterson collection, because every bookstore in the entire world has plenty of them to show off. You don't need to see mine. Anyway, on to the matters at hand. I stopped in this bookstore looking around, and I found a few things that I actually wanted. Some books to read and some books for the shelves. So we're going to take a look at some of that. Stuff on the horizon. This last week we had Suntup Editions. Suntup Editions had published or announced Animal Farm, and I have a number. I'm a numbered rights holder, so I ordered my number. Animal Farm's a good one, and one that I wanted. The AE came out. It was about $200. I decided to hold tight a little bit. I didn't order that one. Maybe I will, but I haven't ordered it yet. Also, Subterranean Press recently announced or put up for sale Gardens of the Moon and Poppy War, and I was fortunate, quick fingers on the cell phone on LTE, going somewhere, wherever I happened to be at the time, to mash the buttons fast enough to get those. So I've got those coming eventually whenever they're published, and we'll show you what they look like when we get them in here at the Casa de Terrific, whatever you might call this place, the House on the Hill or Buzzard Holler, I don't know, all different names. Anyway, we'll get those. We'll show you what they look like eventually once Sub Press gets them out to my house. But let me show you what I got at the bookstore.
I love books. You love books.
See something I need to read. Man, I don't like stamps on the books. I had a lot of credit. I put my few books up on the shelf. Said, I got some credit. I don't know if it's enough to cover. The lady said, you got enough to cover, and you got $28 left. So I got to go back there and spend some more money. I'll do it a little at a time as I get stuff in. But here's what I got. I talked about Suntup Press already. One of the books that they're supposed to be, what I think they're publishing next month, is a Blake Crouch book called Dark Matter, and I've read the book and I loved it with a capital LOVE. Big time, great book, phenomenal book. One of those books that boggled the mind. I'm watching it. I can't. I'm so entrenched in this book. I don't want to stop reading. I set the alarm to stop in an hour because I got stuff to do. The alarm goes off in an hour, and I just keep on reading, and next thing you know, it's been 2 hours, and I'm saying 10 more pages. I can't stop. One of those books for me. I loved the book, and it had an ending. I'll just say this for the ending. I should have seen it coming. I was so mad at myself for not figuring out the ending before I figured out the ending. I was, man, so obvious. Should have figured this out. The solution. That's not a spoiler because you're not going to figure it out either. I don't think. Maybe you will, but I doubt it. Read that one. You'll like it. Also, Blake Crouch's Wayward Pines trilogy. Those are being published by Gauntlet Press. And I've got Pines already and pre-ordered Wayward, the second book in the series. Blake Crouch is the author that when they come out with a limited edition book of that fella, I'm going to get one. Because the 4 books I've read so far, bad to the bone. And the folks that talk about Blake Crouch, a lot of them have been talking about this book, one that I haven't read, the Blake Crouch's Recursion. And in fact, talking about the Suntup coming announcement, some people are saying, well, shoot, they ought to do this one instead of Dark Matter, which I haven't read that, and that's a great thing because so many people dig this book. I got to read me some of this. So I got one at the bookstore. It was free for me because of the credit, but I got a first print hardcover version of Recursion from Blake Crouch. And I've got a books to be read pile. They call it a TBR pile, but whatever books that got to be read. I got a stack of them over there. And I've got a couple where I'm going to say this is the next one I'm reading. This is the next one I'm reading. And it's hard to not set this one on top of the stack and say the other ones have to take a hike because I'm going to read this one first. So this will be one of the next 2 or 3 books that I read, I promise. The next one is a book that another one of those books that I'm ashamed to say I haven't read yet. I'm sure other people haven't read it, but anyway, I feel like a dunce for admitting I haven't read Red Dragon yet. And this one, not necessarily a book collector's favorite version of this book, of course. Suntup Editions has one, and that's one of the numbers that I have on my list of books I need to buy. I just don't want to get my pants pulled down over with a price, so I haven't found the right book at the right price yet, but I'll get one for that shelf over there just to go next to my Silence of the Lambs numbered edition one of these days. But on top of that, I haven't read it. So I'm going to read Thomas Harris' Red Dragon. I've seen 2 movies, one based loosely on this book, and one which they say was a pretty somewhat faithful adaptation called Red Dragon with Edward Norton. And I'm the guy that loves Michael Mann's Manhunter. That movie, along with the soundtrack, I think awesome soundtrack. What's the guy's name? William Peterson? Something Peterson passed away. He was on a favorite TV show that everybody loves, CSI. I think he was on there. William Peterson? What's his name? That guy was awesome in that movie, Manhunter. Both versions, the director's cut, the theatrical cut. I love them both. I feel like either one you watch, you're going to miss something that you liked. But anyway, I love that movie. And then Edward Norton film came out, and it was good too. But I really liked Manhunter, Michael Mann's Manhunter, better. Maybe I'm the only one, I don't know, but I'm excited to read this book and then read Silence of the Lambs. I've got that sitting on the books to be read pile over there too. Haven't read either one. Don't hate me because I'm not up to speed on all the cool books yet, but I'll get there one of these days. This one is a books to be read. When I walked around, I picked up some books. I kind of thought, man, all these books, and I've only got 3. What's up with that? So I kind of I had my youngest boy with me. He's 9. Roman, you've met him. He was sitting over there in the kids section, kind of goofing off, bored. But he's goofing off, looking at pictures of something in some National Geographic type of book, some nature book. And I just happened to walk over to him, and I looked up, and I saw this spine. And I said, man, that looks neat, King Kong. So I pulled it out, and look what I found. I found a hardcover Grosset and Dunlop hardcover library binding King Kong book. I loved the original movie. Loved it. I watch it probably every year or 2. I don't know. Pretty short movie, so it doesn't take a lot of time to watch it. But I love that movie. And this book kind of harkens back to that one. And I couldn't resist. I think it was $4 to go against my store credit. In pretty good shape. Not perfectly mint, but good enough for this sucker. I liked it. I've never seen such a thing. Never looked for such a thing. But hey, it's cool. Good movie. The book kind of harkens to the movie. It says photo insert inside. There's a photo insert inside. One. Right there you go. If you've seen the movie, it looks familiar. So some pictures from the movie. There's a few. Hey, there's not a bunch, but there are a few. A few pictures from the movie inserted inside. Not as many as I would have liked, but more than I would have thought. And then, of course, a timeless picture that says previously unreleased photograph. I say timeless, but they say, you ain't never seen this picture. Previously unreleased. Why'd they put a big blob on their picture then if it's such a big deal? Anyway, it looks cool. I like the book because it looks neat. I like the movie. The book harkens to the movie. I guess you would call this novelization. I read the history of the King Kong book, and I can't remember how it went. I almost think the book was based on a screenplay, but released before the movie. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong and you know, explain it to me on the comments. I need some educations. But the book originally was a novelization, but there was some wonky stuff going on. Maybe the book came out before the movie or something like that. I don't recall. There we go. That's good. Neat book for me, for the shelf. And then the final book, you ever heard of a guy named Stephen King? I was on vacation in Alaska. We rented a big RV, drove all over Alaska for 2.5 weeks. And we had to turn in the RV on the final day in Anchorage, Alaska. And then we had to go hop a plane. So we were in Anchorage early, and we were burning a little bit of time. And I was reading on my phone about people who were getting the book Billy Summers in the mail. And some of them were complaining about ordering from Cemetery Dance, paying 30-something bucks for the book, getting in the mail. It was a second print. So I stopped at some big store. I don't remember. It's kind of like a giant Walmart there in Anchorage, but it wasn't Walmart. It was something else. They sold furniture and all kind of junk there. And I was looking at their book rack. They had Billy Summers for $17, big discount, which was, I think, similar as a Costco and Walmart. They had them deep discounts on their books there. And I had it, and I was going to buy it, and I'm thinking, man, on the plane I'm reading. I'm halfway into a 900-page book. I'm going to finish that book. And I don't want to stick a new hardcover book in the suitcase for the throwers to handle on the way home. So I figured I'd just buy it at Walmart when I get home, and I never did. But this bookstore had Billy Summers for $6, first print, first edition copy. And how do I know it's a first print, first edition copy? I'm sure you know. And I don't want to waste your time. I hate to waste your time, but I'm going to do it anyway. How do you like that? First print, first edition. We got a number line right here. The number line goes all the way down to 1 on one side or the other, whichever side you're looking at. It goes down to 1. So we got us a first print. Now, first print run of Stephen King books is kind of not that tough to find because they probably print more Stephen King, more books in the first print run of Stephen King than any other author in history. I don't know, millions maybe, who knows. They print so many of them, so it's not that hard to find. But the problem is a second print is don't want it because there's so many first prints. Why would you want a second print? Why would you say print so many times? But anyway, that was my book haul for today. Maybe it was exciting to you, maybe it wasn't. But anyway, I'm pleased. Couple books for the shelf, couple books for the reading. And now I know this day weren't no waste. So with no more lies to tell, I'm going to have to say la vie, baby.